Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of CNBC-TV18 and Qualcomm present the 5G opportunity. With the advancement in Industry 4.0 and IoT, the industry is looking forward to a future of connected and autonomous vehicles. New business models will come into existence, which will give rise to the development of multiple revolutionary services. The promise of 5G technology has rekindled our imagination because it brings ultra-high-speed data transfer and low latency, which means quicker response times and better reliability. 5G will reshape the automotive industry in several transformative ways, with new models offering exciting, innovative features, better production processes, new business models, etc. Now, according to an industry research by Gartner, by 2023, the automotive sector will be the most significant market opportunity for 5G IoT solutions. 5G will drive the connected car market and address key road safety concerns to usher in the next era of intelligent autonomous vehicles. The share of actively connected cars to a 5G service will grow from 15% in 2020 to 74% in 2023, reaching a whopping 94% by 2028. Joining us now is Sudhendu J. Sinha, the Advisor, Infrastructure Connectivity, Transport and Electric Mobility with Niti Aayog, to understand how 5G can transform the transport system and help in making public transport a viable and sustainable option.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely top, one of the high agenda topic, that is the potential of 5G in automotive and transportation. Now, the transport industry has entered a period of rapid advancement, and the pace of change is only increasing. The proliferation of electric vehicles, rapid advances in autonomous vehicles, the advent of sharing economy and digital platforms, advances in big data and machine learning, and rapidly evolving business models, e-commerce, then mobility as a service, all these are causing profound changes all through the transport sector. Now, once the development and the rollout of fifth generation, that is 5G mobile broadband, is available in India, it has the potential to not only support but accelerate these revolutionary changes. With today's evolving digital transport solutions, an entirely new opportunity would become viable. They benefits over previous generation of wireless functions, wireless connectivity, including greater bandwidth, lower latency, capacity to dedicate resources for critical functions, potential for greatly expanded number of devices, and easy sharing of data. Now, in some cases, we can witness dramatic and exponential gains from the previous technology. Each of these 5G features will have an impact in the transport sector that would in turn contribute to transport-specific applications. Now, in the context of cities, the urban centers, because we know that in the years to come, 50% of India is going to live in the cities. And of course, the mobility and transportation are going to be the two principal challenges in those cities. Now, the availability of 5G then poses a revolutionary opportunity for urban mobility, allowing cities to modernize and make their transport systems more efficient. With access to 5G, cities will have an increased ability to improve public transport operations and planning, even introducing dynamic transport planning and potentially reducing traffic congestion, because that is one of the, I would call it one of the most difficult, one of the most day-to-day challenge of the urban areas, that is traffic congestion, or reallocate the spaces for cyclists, pedestrians, micromobility users. They may also generate more revenues by increasing public transport ridership or through innovative business models such as mass mobility as a service I mentioned in the beginning. In turn, this could potentially help reduce tariffs and increase affordability for low income users who would benefit from improved monitoring and control systems. Now, regarding the active transport, 5G enabled smart connectivity and vehicle to everything, what do we call V2X, communications will improve cyclist and pedestrian safety also. That would have a lot of implications, positive implications for the factor of safety. They would benefit from the safer automobiles. City and national governments might promote infrastructure sharing for providing telecom services and other services for mobility, such as using traffic lights or street lights for deploying the 5G ultra dense network, and well, is create intelligent transport systems related services, thus boosting jobs in the digital economy. Now, let me explain how 5G infrastructure will have impact on the vehicles to be precise. With business models in transport sector expected to differ significantly from the current paradigm, 5G enabled vehicles are they would totally differ from those which are in use today. Now, connected and autonomous vehicles will bring together a series of changes, including connectivity, electrification, autonomy, enabling new business models such as mobility as a service, while the connectivity provided by 5G represents only one enabling facet of this equation, it fundamentally changes the overall potential scope and viability of the model. Now, in logistics sector, let's see, 5G technology opens up three fundamental dimensions for increasing efficiency, for bringing about more efficient logistics, and which would make the country's products internationally, globally competitive. Now, enabling the operation of autonomous vehicles by land, by sea, by air. Number two is simplifying many communications and signaling processes and dramatically reducing the cost and increasing battery life potentially up to say 10 years. Now, taken together, these impacts massively increase the potential for connected freight and thus the ability to track goods throughout the logistics chain and streamline logistics planning. If we speak in the context of economic development, for example, according to 5G Level Forum, which was constituted in 2017, 5G is predicted to create a cumulative economic impact of US $1 trillion. You see, what a humongous figure it is. In India by 2035. As per Ericsson research, 5G enabled digitalization revenue potential in India will be above 27 billion US dollar by 2026. 5G has all the abilities to further bolster Digital India program and help in making government's digital services available to all. 5G capabilities will also be needed to support the smart city projects. Therefore, 5G will unleash new business opportunities and bring substantial socio-economic benefits through increase in productivity, improvement in service delivery, and of course, optimum use of scarce resources, and finally, by through creating huge, infinite opportunities of new jobs. Thank you. Thank you.
As the industry's leading innovators invest in software, 5G's enablement of a more powerful computing and lower latency, underpinned by the ever greater IoT and sensor saturation, will form the backbone of a genuine revolution in automotive innovation. Well, it's time for a short break, but don't go anywhere, as on the other side, we have a very interesting panel discussion lined up. Welcome back to this very special episode of CNBC-TV18 and Qualcomm present the 5G opportunity. Now, 5G will disrupt many industries, but its capacity to reshape the automotive industry is profound. Millions of vehicles globally already connect to the mobile networks for everything from real-time navigation to in-car entertainment and increasingly e-commerce services as well. Now, as 5G's footprint expands, V2X, vehicle to everything, and production at the pace of innovation are rapidly becoming realities. Instantaneous, secure transmission of data between cars, humans, and machines opens up a realm of use cases, each with their unique set of possibilities. So what's the way ahead? To discuss this and much more, we are joined by an esteemed panel of guests. We have with us Mr. Nakul Duggal, the Senior Vice President and General Manager, Automotive, Qualcomm, Mr. Chandan Sahni, the Head of Advanced Engineering, Electric, Hybrid and Fuel Cell Vehicles at Tata Motors, Mr. Kavan Mukhtiar, Partner and Leader, Automotive PwC India, and Mr. Maxime Flement, the Chief Technology Officer at 5GAA. A very warm welcome to all of you gentlemen. Nakul, my first question to you is, how is 5G technology currently revolutionizing the auto and transport industry? And if you could share a few use cases.
Sure. So 5G is, and really any wireless technology has now become fundamental to the way that the next generation automobile is actually designed. The whole idea is that the car is going to be a platform that will continuously be evolving. That means it has to be connected to the cloud. It has to continuously receive software updates, provide feedback about itself back into the cloud, back into whether it's the automaker, the dealer network, the various applications that are running in the vehicle. So connectivity in the car and high-speed connectivity, low latency connectivity that 5G provides are foundational to how a car is designed. Now, there are innumerable number of use cases. If you think about the basic capability of making sure that the car has the latest and greatest software, that can only be accomplished if you have the car as being connected at all times. As we start to move towards electric vehicles, charging of vehicles becomes foundational, and that means you have to be able to have access to a charging network at your fingertips. If you think about autonomous driving, the amount of information that the car needs to be able to be aware of its electronic horizon, what it can see in front of itself. These are all aspects that require 5G connectivity for you to be able to get access to high definition maps. So the list goes on and on. I really think that the car is becoming a platform no different than any other, where without it being connected, it will not be relevant.
Maxime, please tell us, how is the 5G Automotive Association helping the global connected vehicle industry deliver innovations in on-device intelligence and integration in connected vehicles, and the role of 5G in this respect?
So first, let me tell you a little bit about the 5G Automotive Association. It's a global association. It's an initiative between telco and automotive industries. It makes sure that we understand each other between the different industries and represent, at the end of the day, the needs of the automotive industry in the 5G verticals. We try to make sure that all road users are included in the safety ecosystems, and especially India would be an example where we absolutely need to make sure that the pedestrians, the cyclists, the mopeds, the kids, or even the people that are disabled in wheelchairs are included in that safety ecosystem. What 5G is offering is a new kind of solutions that allows you to rely on the connectivity as a service provider, so that if you ask for a specific type of connectivity, this kind of connectivity is guaranteed, and you can even modulate this connectivity depending on the needs of the applications or the services that you are running on your radio or on your platforms.
Chandan, we just heard from Maxime as well as Nakul. According to you, how important will be the implementation of 5G for India to catch up with the rest of the world?
Right. So essentially, if we see the global outlook and maybe perhaps the Indian context also, what we are seeing that connectivity in its various diverse forms is really picking up. Now, those could be the direct, say, connectivity applications which are linked to how consumers can actually interact with the vehicle and get some value-added services. But it goes beyond the simple connectivity features to say some of the safety and security related aspects also, especially in the era of ADAS or the active safety. and that all the way going up to the autonomous vehicles. So, and the same trend we are seeing in India also, where connectivity has become one of the differentiators for various vehicles. And in that context, we have been seeing that 5G at some point would play a major role because of the inherent benefits of the technology, what it brings. And many of the use cases which were earlier either not feasible or feasible with a lot of, say, performance compromises would now become a reality. Lot has been done with reference to readying the Indian, say, ecosystem to get advantage of 5G.
Nakul, clearly one of the most exciting trends in this space is going to be 5G bringing in advanced self-driving, and 5G will allow us to leverage the full potential of advanced case that's connected, autonomous, shared and electrified technologies. With artificial intelligence, virtual reality and Internet of Things becoming a reality, what does the car of the future look like?
The car is going through so many different foundational changes. So the transition starts to look as follows. You start to have a simpler architecture that is going to have a larger number of controllers in terms of their capability, but smaller in terms of the number of units that are actually present. So you move to a much higher amount of concentration of processing. And then you have the car defined in modules. The other big shift that's going to happen is that the car is going to become extremely software defined. So big shifts going on. We are in the middle of these shifts, and I expect by the middle of this decade, we'll start to see a lot of this become available through mainstream vehicles.
Coming to you, clearly the big advantage of 5G is lower latency, higher speeds, reliability, compounded by the maturity of AI solutions and edge computing, can catapult innovation in autonomous vehicles in the next decade. So that clearly makes 5G and AI a match made in heaven for the growth of autonomous vehicles.
Oh, absolutely. I think 5G really presents a fantastic range of features that a connected vehicle can deliver. And, clearly, one of the elements of autonomy is the sense and respond capabilities. And with 5G having low latency and higher reliability in terms of the communication technology, you can have much reliable data. Of course, we all know that autonomy, at the heart of autonomy, is artificial intelligence. So I think when these two things come together, it can offer a range of features and functionalities on the autonomy plane for the customers. As you know, autonomy is at 5 levels as generally defined. And as was mentioned earlier, it goes all the way from L0 to L5, where L5 is full autonomy. While full autonomy in the Indian context is, I would say, a few decades away, but at least partial autonomy can really get triggered with 5G being available in the marketplace.
Maxime, in a country as vast as India, how critical is communication technology such as C-V2X in delivering a safe, seamless, supreme connected driving experience across the length and breadth of this country?
When we are talking about CV2X, we are also bringing another dimension to the connectivity. It's also the connectivity between the vehicles and the other vehicles, between the vehicle and the infrastructure, as well as vehicles to, for example, the pedestrians that would be equipped. So if you look at countries like India, where some incidents are happening at specific places, it makes sense to start putting roadside infrastructure that could offer this critical safety and avoid the danger at these specific places, using and not relying necessarily on the mobile network.
Chandan, we've been talking about the possibilities, the opportunities, but what, according to you, are the biggest hurdles for auto manufacturers in terms of unleashing the full potential of 5G?
One challenge in terms of as and when 5G gets launched, how the seamless connectivity would be there for not only, say, key metro cities, but across India, so that the overall use case applications can be done. That is one challenge in terms of the coverage. The second challenge is with reference to the ecosystem which enables the 5G, which is essentially the NADs, the network access devices. So essentially, the solution what we have today obviously cannot just get upgraded to 5G. It would need a completely new design, and that obviously will take time. And given the semiconductor availability shortages, that itself is a challenge. So from a perspective of say deployment, that's one challenge in terms of how quickly we can upgrade the current NADs to the ones which are 5G compatible. The third challenge I would like to say is that we also need to be cognizant of the fact that 5G brings so much add-ons with reference to how it can improve the connectivity. So we would like to basically classify that into two parts: the applications which get enhanced, and then the applications which would only get, say, enabled with the likes of 5G. So that's another area in terms of how, as automobile say manufacturers, we can get very relevant 5G use cases, so that we can make best use of the technology in both the spheres. Like I said, we enhance what we already have as a connectivity feature today, and we also enable 5G specific use cases also. And that's an area where I think a lot of effort and maybe initial trials need to happen, so that we make best use of the technology what it promises.
Well, that's all the time we have for you on the show today. A big thank you to all of you for joining us in this special discussion. With that, it's a wrap on this show. Thank you for watching.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.